Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of EDU 600, Research Methods and Techniques. So welcome to about the midway point of our course and a long holiday weekend. So what does that mean from actually a practical standpoint, being in an online program or online course on a long holiday weekend? It means that maybe you have enough time to get caught up at this point, or some time to actually write your paper. But from a practical standpoint, being an online course, no work is expected on Monday from anybody, but also we're adult learners in this class, and if you need the time to get caught up, that's fine. So from a practical standpoint, everything will be available online. And if you want to do work tomorrow or on Monday, that is fine. But if not, don't worry about it. I mean, everybody knows at this point what is expected. And if you need any help on your work, please let me know. So let's get right to the materials. Now, last week I did make week 7 materials, module 7 materials available in case people did want to get ahead. I know there's a couple people in our class that were busy this weekend, and so all of the materials for week number 7 have been available since last week. I'll quickly go over what it is that we're doing this week and what I'd like you to do. There's actually 2 things, excuse me, and then we have an optional discussion forum. Excuse me. So let's get right to it. This week we're going to be looking at research measures. And to get us going, please do a few things. You're looking at the video right now. I said last week this will be posted on October 8th, and it will be, which is today. So what are the learning goals and specific things to do this week? Understand and apply information about these types of measures. Understand and apply how the quality of measures is ensured through procedures for determining reliability and validity. Read Chapter 7, which is descriptive statistics. Specifically, read that chapter, but also look back at Chapter 6, pages 106 to 114. Now, I have mentioned before, we're now in the quantitative side of the course before we go into mixed message and single subject research. But as far as the statistics go, when we get to the actual group assignment and then the final, then we go into an experimental critique, and then for the final assignment is your critique of the 6 articles. Statistics are part of analyzing quantitative research. I'm not looking for people to learn statistics so they are able to know how to work the equations or solve the problems, although that is possible. If you're really interested in that, you can contact me, and/or maybe a full statistics course would be in your future. But for this course, really what I'm interested in is that you understand the statistical test, or at least a few of them of what they're using, and understand the p-value. And the p-value is an indicator of statistical significance of the results. So that's what the readings are about this week. I have a video on reliability and validity. Some of these are repeated. Median, mean, range, standard deviation. Here's a normal distribution, which ties in with the standard deviation, the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. And then I want to highlight this video. It's on the p-value, and the p-value is, like I said, an indicator of statistical significance with the results. And any question that you have on any of these videos, including the p-value, please let me know. So what do we have this week? Well, due tomorrow is the critique of the qualitative article. As you know, this was the article that you discussed as a group in week number 3. So I say in here, so what does that mean? If you were assigned to group A in week number 3, and this is the article that you were reading, you would be using that same article to personally critique this article. So if you remember, in week number 3, everybody was assigned a portion of this article. You might have been assigned the procedures, or sampling, or data analysis. And so that was the section that you took the lead on, and then you did the lead, you posted it, and then other people commented on it. That is the article that you are going to be using to critique for this assignment. So if you were part of Group A, you don't need to be concerned with the article that was read for Group B or Group C. You focus in on Group A. So what does it mean? Well, here you can see these are the headings I'd like to use. There's information actually in the syllabus, but it's identical to here. Write 1,000 to 1,200 word critique. I'd like you to have a title page and also a references page. So these are the titles. I'm going to just show you a couple of things here. There's the guidelines, but right now I'm going to click on the critique. Okay, so here is the critique. It's the same thing that I had on the past page, but I did want to just point out a couple of things. There's a critique article, or not a critique, there's an exemplar in here. I have to say this isn't perfect, but it will give you an idea of what I am looking for. And then there's also a qualitative critique guide. So once again, this is, you have to click on the assignment, and then you come down and you'll see these areas, one exemplar and the critique guide. I can't stress enough, I'd like you to use these titles in the critique. And there's some discrepancy, and different students use different titles, but these are the same samples, or these are the same subject titles that you use for the group assignment. If you you're free to read what your group discussed in week number 3. I just don't want you to copy and paste somebody else's work into your paper. So this is an individual assignment. So that is that. Let me go back to where we were. So that is due tomorrow night. And what is expected as far as this week, next Sunday by midnight, I'd like you to do this visual display of data assignment. This is not a big assignment. If you follow the directions in here, basically I want to say to you, and I will say to you, go back to week number 6 and you'll see there's a huge amount of information and links that show data, visual displays of data. I want you to go into that area, pick one, and tell the story of the data. So this doesn't need to be 8 paragraphs. It could be succinctly written in 1 paragraph. I'd like you to either include the visual display of data, or I'd like you to provide a link of the data. A picture of the data, and then just tell the story. What is the story telling? If you're looking at something like COVID, you can report on COVID by county. That numbers are, there's a lot of information out there. If you want to use any of the other sources in there, please feel free. And I'm here to help. If anybody has a question, you want to zoom on this, let me know. There is an optional discussion, but being that this is a shortened week, I really don't encourage. If you want to post something to the discussion forum, you can, but that's not a requirement. I know there's enough work. We have a paper due tonight or tomorrow night, and then what I consider a very simple assignment due next Sunday, which is the visual display one. So you can do this, but only if you really want to do it. This is optional. So that's enough out of me. I hope everybody has a wonderful long weekend, and I plan on being online a tremendous amount this week. This is the week, usually is the week that I get all caught up on pretty much everything as far as the discussion forums, the assignments, etc. If you get your paper submitted by tomorrow night at midnight, I will have those returned to you by the end of the week with a grade and with comments. And I use audio comments. It's quite easy to find those if you go to the assignment. But if you have any trouble finding and listening to the audio comments, please let me know. So that's it from me. Enjoy the weekend. Today's supposed to be gorgeous, sunny, relatively cool in Maine, but perfect fall day. Have a good weekend, everybody, and we'll see you online.